Ever added fertilizer and still watched your plants struggle? It's frustrating, right? Well, the secret to a thriving garden might not be in the bag of fertilizer, but happening invisibly, right under your feet. It's called the nitrogen cycle, and it's the master process that controls how essential nutrients move through your soil, the air, the water, and into your plants. In this video, we're going to break down the nitrogen cycle in simple terms, explain exactly why every gardener should care about it, and show you how to work with this natural system instead of fighting against it. Let's dig in. So, what is nitrogen anyway? You might be surprised to learn that nitrogen makes up about 78% of the very air we breathe. It's everywhere. But here's the catch. Plants can't just breathe it in and use it. In its atmospheric form, nitrogen gas is useless to them. For your plants to benefit, that nitrogen needs to be converted into usable compounds like ammonium and nitrates. And who are the tireless workers doing this conversion? Mostly, it's a massive, invisible army of microscopic organisms living in your soil. These tiny microbes are the real MVPs of your garden's nutrient supply chain. The whole process starts with a step called nitrogen fixation. This is the magic moment where nitrogen gas from the atmosphere gets fixed or captured and turned into ammonium. Certain amazing bacteria are the stars of this show. Some of them live freely in the soil, just doing their thing. Others have a special partnership with a group of plants we all know and love, legumes. Think peas, beans, clover, and vetch. These bacteria live in little bumps on the plant roots, called nodules, and they trade the ammonium they create for sugars from the plant. It's a perfect partnership. Even a lightning strike can fix a small amount of nitrogen in the air, delivering it to the soil with the rain. Nature is pretty incredible, isn't it? Next up is nitrification. Once we have ammonium in the soil, another group of bacteria gets to work, but only if the conditions are right. They need oxygen, so this step happens best in well-aerated, fluffy soil. These bacteria first convert the ammonium into something called nitrite, and then another group quickly converts that nitrite into nitrate. Now, nitrate is like a 5-star meal for your plants. It's super easy for them to absorb through their roots. But there's a downside. Nitrate is also very soluble in water. This means it can easily wash away with heavy rain or overwatering, a process called leaching. So, while it's great for plants, it can also be easily lost from your garden soil. This brings us to assimilation. This is the part we're all waiting for, as gardeners. It's when your plants finally get to feast. They absorb the ammonium and nitrates we've been talking about through their root systems. Once inside the plant, that nitrogen becomes the fundamental building block for all the important stuff. It's used to create lush green leaves, vital proteins, and the chlorophyll that makes photosynthesis possible. This is exactly why a nitrogen deficiency is so easy to spot. If your plants have pale or yellowing leaves, especially the older ones at the bottom, they're probably starving for nitrogen. Now, what happens when a plant drops its leaves, or when an animal leaves behind some waste? That's where ammonification, or decomposition, comes in. An army of decomposers like fungi and different kinds of bacteria jumps into action. They break down all that organic matter, whether it's a dead leaf, a kitchen scrap in your compost pile, or animal manure. As they break it down, they release the nitrogen locked inside back into the soil in the form of ammonium. This is exactly how composting works. By creating a compost pile, you're essentially managing your own little ammonification factory, recycling nutrients to feed your garden. This process makes the ammonium available for plants to use again, or to move on to the next step. Finally, we have denitrification. This is the last step that closes the loop of the entire cycle. It happens in soils that are waterlogged or heavily compacted, where there's very little oxygen. Here, a different set of bacteria takes over. They find the nitrates in the soil, and to get the oxygen they need, they break them apart. This process converts the nitrates back into nitrogen gas, which is then released into the atmosphere. While this completes the natural cycle for a gardener, it represents a loss of valuable nitrogen from the soil. That's why good drainage and avoiding soil compaction are so important. It keeps the nitrogen where your plants can use it. So, why should you, as a gardener, care about all this microbiology? Because understanding this cycle is a superpower. It helps you choose the right fertilizer for the right situation. It empowers you to plant nitrogen-fixing cover crops like clover to fertilize your soil for free. You'll make better compost because you understand you're just feeding the microbes. It helps you water wisely to prevent nutrient runoff and avoid overfeeding your plants, which can cause other problems. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Healthy soil biology means healthier, more resilient plants. The nitrogen cycle is truly nature's own fertilizer factory, working 24/7 in your garden. If you focus on working with it, by feeding your soil microbes with organic matter and encouraging plant diversity, your garden will absolutely reward you for it. For some of my favorite compost tools and soil testers that can help you manage this cycle, check out the pinned comment below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, give this video a like and subscribe for more science-backed gardening tips.